Chapter 14. Huh? Me? I gasped. I started to stand up, but then I realized Mrs. Mart wasn't pointing at me. She was pointing at Brad. You are responsible for your own instrument, she told Brad. But, but, Brad protested weakly. Mari will be our violinist, the teacher announced, sneering at Brad. You have to find another talent. She marched over to the chart, ripped Brad's name card from the near top of the chart, and stuck him at the very bottom of the food chain. Mari let out a sob. I'm so sorry, Brad, she murmured. I didn't want to win this way. Brad slumped onto the table holding the animal cages. Molly hurried back to him, shaking her head. She raised a hand to his shoulder. You'll be okay, she whispered. You'll find something else. Brad hung his head. He didn't reply. The whole room was still going nuts from the smell. Kids were choking and gagging, pleading with Mrs. Mark to let them leave the room. We still have many more acts to audition, the monster insisted. Get back to your seats, everyone. She picked up the violin case and handed it to Brad. Take us out here. Then maybe the smell will go away. Clamping his nose with one hand, Brad took the violin and, holding it way out in front of him, hurried from the room. Paul will go next, Mrs. Mark announced. Seats, everyone! Seats! Oh no, this isn't happening, I thought, shaking my head. How could I be so unlucky? The room still stinks. No one will be able to enjoy my act. And then I saw the grin on Mrs. Mark's face, and I realized she had deliberately picked on me to go next. I reached under my seat for the box of balloons. Not there. A sharp stab of panic shot through my chest. Then I remembered why I left them. The balloons were in my room, I told Mrs. Mark. Can I run and go get them? She shrugged in reply. I took that as a yes. I jumped from my seat and flew out of the room. I took deep breaths as I trotted to my room. Fresh air! The skunk smell clung to my clothes, to my skin. I wondered if it would ever go away. I wanted to take a long, long shower, but of course I couldn't. Time to do my act. I'd rehearsed most of the night. I would have prayed for the act. Maybe, just maybe, I'd keep myself from the bottom, I told myself, if Mrs. Marks plays fair. I burst into my room. I saw Brad's sheet music scattered over his desk. Poor Brad, I thought. Mrs. Mark didn't play fair with him. Who poured the skunk scent into his violin? I wondered. Who would do such a horrible thing? My eyes scanned the room. I spotted the box of balloons on my bed. Weird, I thought. I could swear I left it on my dresser top. I grabbed it in one hand and hurried out of the room. I walked quickly down the long hall to the classroom. I grew more and more frightened with each step. Would Mrs. Mark like my balloon act? I wondered. Will she think it's funny? Will she be fair? Will she give me a chance? Taking a deep breath, I stepped into the classroom.